Hey friends, welcome to Concept Friday here on the channel. Usually we do jerseys. Today, uniforms. I got an interesting one for you, that's for sure. Usually we talk NHL jerseys or uniforms or whatever on Fridays, but I have quite a few like non-NHL sets to kind of go through, and I didn't have quite as much time this week to film a regular video, mainly edit, not film. So I got a little bit of a shorter video for you, non-NHL related. These are roller coaster themed uniforms. That's absolutely got to be a first on YouTube, I think. So it's going to be pretty fun going through this. I've not seen these, so we're going to react to these together. The designer here, or the concept creator, is Dogs Collections. I believe that's a first on the channel as well. So a bunch of firsts here. I'm glad you're here with me to go through it. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. We'll start off and bring up the first one. Okay, the first one's called American Thunder. Now, I like my roller coasters, but this one does not sound familiar to me. Let's bring it up. Okay, so the full uniform here. We've got pants, socks, gloves, everything, helmet. Initial impressions is, this is actually, like, regardless of roller coasters or not, I like the kind of design here. Now, it's a very heavy in the thematic in the sense that the stars in this stripes and stuff are very apparent. They're not subtle. They're not fading away into the background. They're meant to be seen, but that's kind of the general impression I get from the logo as well. And it all matches quite nicely. And I assume this is from Six Flags based on the logo in the back of the neck, the back of the jersey up here. Now, American Thunder still isn't really ringing a bell, so I'll just assume that it's at Six Flags and it's somewhere in the United States. I don't think it's in Canada, but whatever it is, I love roller coasters and I'd love to go. So good first impressions here. This is a great one to start with. It's very like New York Rangers meets Washington Capitals meets a roller coaster, kind of in my opinion. There's lots of influence in here, maybe, but let's continue to the next one and see what that's got for us. Batman, the ride. Okay, so I have heard of this ride. I don't know exactly which Six Flags theme park that it's from, but I've definitely seen, I think, a few videos of this, maybe years and years and years ago. I like this one. Just a nice like charcoal gray, and then you let that color kind of be the main point here, the yellow and then the purple, and it all stands out very nicely on that gray. A little bit of black accents in there as well from the actual Batman logo. The gloves are amazing. I love the gloves. Like the jersey's great, the pants, the socks, all that stuff's great, but the gloves are really, really cool. They caught my attention first. Let's move on. Whoa, the boomerang. Okay, I've not heard of this one, and if it's colored anything like this, then you can see it from a mile away, that's for sure. Wow, this is very, very intense. This looks like a fruit roll-up. You guys have those in the States? I did in Canada as a kid. I'm not sure if they still make them or not. But this is basically the definition of vibrancy, I think. This is just like there's color everywhere. So it's a little hard on the eyes, but it's also quite interesting at the same time. I think the least interesting part of this entire uniform is maybe the logo on the front of on the front of the jersey. I think the shoulders pop nicely, the stripes down below, the gloves, the skates are crazy, the socks are awesome, and then eventually you kind of get to the logo on the front of the jersey. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but something to point out, that's for sure. Let's move on. Catwoman whip. Never heard of this one, but I love the colors. You've got some purple in there and some, let's say like violet, I guess, and then some teal. That's a very interesting color combination. And then bringing it all together with the black. The helmet being purple matches, I think, balances with the pants very nicely. The skates are awesome. Gloves being black is maybe my only concern because they're at the bottom of the sleeves that's purple. They'll be at the same level as the pants that are purple. So there might be some conflict there. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, this is actually a really cool uniform. I do like this one. Let's move on. Colossus. Okay, I think I have heard of this one. I can't picture it in my mind, but the name sounds familiar. I must have watched a video or something. I don't love the logo because it doesn't really match the rest of the jersey, but I love the letters and number on the back of the jersey. That's really cool. That kind of matches that beigeish, goldish color that you see on the bottom of the jersey. You can see it in the socks and the gloves and the skates. So I think I like the uniform overall, and then it matches the general theme of the numbers in the back, but the logo itself on the front of the jersey isn't speaking much to me. It's much more darker, and it's not monochrome, but it's very almost black and white, where the rest of the jersey has so much color to it. So maybe not the perfect match, but still a really cool uniform. This is a very interesting process to go through this and kind of take regular NHL hockey out of this. Let's move on. Okay, Fireball. Definitely have not heard this one. Holy Gradient Batman. And by Batman, I don't mean the previous ride that we looked at earlier, or the jersey rather, uniform, whatever. This has a gradient in the jersey. It's got a gradient in the skates and the socks. This is kind of amazing. Like, the numbers are a little hard to see in the back, so is the nameplate. So I'd probably fix that up a little bit. But I love the gradient. Like, this would be a really cool uniform to see. Totally, like, put the player in it, put it on ice. This would be awesome to see. And by the way, if you want to get into making jersey concepts or the uniform concepts like you see here, you can go to sportstemplates.net. Get this exact same template that you're seeing in this video with the skates, the helmet, the pants, the gloves, all the good stuff. You can get that with 10% off using code post2post, plus any other template on the site as well. That code applies to every single template on the site. And there's also free templates on there as well. So if you just want to play around with your creativity, maybe throw one into Photoshop and see what happens, by all means, absolutely do that. And eventually down the road, if you want to pick one up, make sure you use that code post2post. Save yourself 10%. All right, back to the video. We've got Justice League Battle for Metropolis. Okay, so the color with the gray is the first thing that stood out to me on the bottom of the jersey. I love that match because it also matches, the blue also matches well with the black. I didn't even notice the blue helmet. I didn't even notice the logo. My eyes were just totally drawn to the middle section of the uniform, the bottom of the jersey. Now that I can see everything, I think the helmet's great. The gloves are great. I like the socks as well. The jersey is pretty decent. I see some red in the logo, so maybe expecting some kind of red influence elsewhere on the jersey, but I think overall the uniform this is actually a really excellent uniform. Let's move on. Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. Okay, I've not heard of this one either. Same as the last one, I didn't hear of that one. This one is very intense. The numbers are very stylized, I guess, to the Freeze or Mr. Freeze, whatever. The socks, like, this is a crazy uniform. This is a uniform that I would expect to see in like the ECHL, maybe not the AHL, maybe not the NHL, but definitely the ECHL. Something crazy in that league. Lots of crazy stuff happens in that league as far as uniforms. So this is not really plausible, but it kind of is at the same time if you consider the ECHL. So yeah, I like it. It's a bit it's a bit busy, but I do like it. Colors are very nice. Moving on to what? Okay, they have the same name at the bottom. I assume that's incorrect. That was a bit of a mistake on Dogs Collections. So I don't know the name of this one. I assume it's Ninja based on the logo and based on the back of the jersey there, but very simple jersey. Very, I guess, New Jersey Devils inspired. Maybe you've got that squared off shoulders section on the top. You can see some black, you can see some white, no other colorization in there. So just a very simple kind of uniform here. I think it looks pretty good overall. Let's move on. Okay, moving on to Pandemonium. I've not heard of this one either. Apparently there's a lot of roller coasters that I need to go on because I have not heard of like basically all of these, but lovely gradient in here and on the pants as well. It's not too often where someone submits a concept where we get a gradient on the pants. Usually it's the jersey. If anything else extra, it's the socks, never the pants. So that's a new one for me, I think. And it's interesting. The gradient doesn't totally line up because at the bottom of the pants, you get the black and it gradiates to red, same as the jersey, but the jersey and the pants meet at opposite gradients. Does that make sense? So you'd have to have black, red, red, black kind of thing to make it totally flow. So, but then again, maybe that wouldn't look right in the entire uniform. I'm not sure, but there hasn't been a bad one so far. I don't think there's been some crazy ones, but no bad ones. Let's move on. River King Mine Train. Never heard of it. But when I think of Mine Train, I do kind of picture these colors, mainly the brown and the beige and stuff. So it's kind of nice to see that influence in the socks, the bottom of the jersey, the gloves, the skates, the actual pants as well, and the helmet too. So it's nice to kind of see that thematic throughout the entire, colorization-wise, throughout the entire uniform. Relatively generic other than that. Now, the logo itself, I assume that's the actual logo from the ride. And that kind of puts Dogs Collections in a little bit of a difficult position because it's such a horizontal logo. It goes all the way across. It's not very vertical at all. So it would be very difficult to make that work on the front of a jersey. I think what you could do instead is, because it's almost the same size as the nameplate, put that logo in the back of a jersey and then maybe put some kind of other graphic, maybe an actual mine or a mine train or something on the front. Create something new for the logo on the front, and then put the actual logo on the back of the nameplate. Moving on, Sky Screamer. Okay, I've not heard of this one either. Jeez. This one's actually awesome. I love the gradient here, and I love that the rest of the uniform is black. Black helmet, black pants, black gloves, black skate. The socks are colorized it probably as they should be, but the jersey has all the color, the socks have all the color, and you just allow the other pieces of equipment just to kind of be those secondary pieces, and just let the jersey be like the star of the show. And this is exactly what it does here. So I think excellent job. I really like the font on the back of the jersey as well. The name is a little bit close to the number, but that's very nitpicky. This one's cool. It's probably one of my favorites so far, actually. Moving on to Spinsanity. Is that how you pronounce this one? Wow. Okay, I'm getting some like Florida Gator vibes as far as the colorizations. The logo is not for me. The rest of the jerseys, okay. It's lots of stripes for sure. I really like the skates. The skates are very vibrant. The pants are very simple. That's nice. I wouldn't say the best one that we've seen so far, but again, not bad. No bad ones. Moving on. Wow, Super Girl Sky Flyer. That's hard to say. This is, from a color perspective, this is awesome. I like the yellow complements with the blue so nicely. You get that red from the logo that complements with the blue. The socks are awesome. The gloves are awesome. Gradient in the pants here as well, so I guess this is the second time. Everything actually about this color-wise is pretty great. It's not my favorite because I don't really love the logo that much, but this is a cool uniform. I love the vibrancy. Let's move on. The Boss. I've not heard of this one either, and this looks like a Harley or something. Like this is crazy. The socks are the pants. Wow. Okay. We've seen lots of Flames concepts on jerseys, so that's not super unfamiliar. It's pretty bold and pretty crazy and stuff, but it looks okay. But the pants are amazing, and the socks are amazing. Those are absolutely my favorite part of this uniform. The pants and socks are definitely the highlight for me. The skates are really cool as well. It almost has this like pearlescent thing happening. Yeah, this is a really cool uniform, but it is not cool because it is hot and is all over the place with these flames. Moving on, the Screaming Eagle. Again, I've not heard of this one. This one actually may be the first miss for me. I don't like this gradient personally. The wings on the arms are cool. The wings on the pants don't work for me. I think I'd like to see the opposite orientation of the wings, if that makes sense. So whatever you see for the wing on the right side of the pants, take that wing and put it on the left, and vice versa. Skates aren't really working for me either, and not so much the socks either. So I would say that maybe this is my first miss of the whole thing. Moving on. Area manager uniform for Six Flags. Okay, so this is an actual, whoever the area manager is who works at Six Flags, they've got a specific uniform, and it's been translated to an actual hockey uniform here. I'm not sure if that is required for this, I guess, but it's interesting to see in here for sure. Good colorization. I can't imagine actually seeing an area manager uniform in full NHL gear on site. I don't think we'll ever see that. Moving on. Lead uniform. Okay, so basically the same thing, different position, different colors. Again, same opinion really. It's interesting at the least. Supervisor uniform. Okay, same thing, different colorization. I'm just going to move on. Team member uniform. So the vibe I'm getting from Six Flags is that depending on your position, you wear a different color, which is kind of cool to think about. But for this exercise, and that was the last one. Okay, so the last four I'm not really going to count in my favorites and stuff. So let's go back to, I think I know my favorite. I think I like Skyscanner the best. I think that was maybe my favorite. It had good balance. It let the color really shine in the jersey and in the socks. That one was really cool. But I also want to give a shout out to, which one was it? The Batman one was pretty excellent, just because it was, for the most part, all black and white, but then you let the color kind of sing and do its thing. And then a special shout out to Boomerang as well, because that's just crazy vibrant. That was awesome. So really interesting process to kind of go through these. I'm so used to looking at NHL concepts, which are always going to be fun. And, we're going to do that most, if not every single Friday, other than maybe just a handful Fridays in a year. But it's nice to look at just something a little bit different every once in a while. So I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Obviously, let me know down below in the comment section what was your favorite from this whole entire set, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was just something a little bit different, so I hope you got to see something that you never thought you would expect, because I definitely saw a lot of things that I would never expect to see in an NHL uniform, or a hockey uniform rather. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and if you did like it, hit the like button. Catch you soon. Adios.